Alright guys, in today's video, let's talk about accessory exercises and how to program that properly within your training program. Over the last few weeks and the last few months, we really dove deep into how to program the really main compound exercises. But today, let's take a look at all the isolation work like rows, arm work and ab work and how to actually make that work within your training program. Before we're gonna talk about anything specific, first of all, I kind of want to zoom out and give you guys really the bread and butter of this whole video. And the thing is this, right? Accessory work is what it says. It's accessory work. The big compound exercises are always going to be the main thing within your training program. And all the accessory work and all the isolation work that you do next to that is really just to kind of round yourself out and to prevent any injuries and weaknesses from developing. So how you actually program out all your accessory work is far less important than how you actually program all the big compound exercises. And progression on those big exercises really is going to be the main goal within your training program. And with that being said, let's actually talk about specifics. First of all, starting off with exercise selection. This covers questions like what are the best accessory exercises for weighted pull-ups, dips or whatever, and also covers questions like what kind of exercise you actually should avoid within your training program. Now, what kind of exercise that you choose is really going to depend massively on what your main primary exercises are going to be. So someone that does squat, bench and deadlift will need different accessory work compared to someone that does squat, pull-up and dip. The main thing here is that you include 6 fundamental exercises within every single training program: a horizontal pull, a vertical pull, a horizontal push, a vertical push, and then a squat and a hip hinge exercise. Assuming that you train weighted calisthenics, you have your vertical pulling, your horizontal pushing and your squat movement covered by doing pull-ups, dips and squats. So all you really need to complement that is going to be a vertical push, a horizontal pull and a hip hinge exercise. What exercise that you pick is completely down to personal preference and kind of what you actually enjoy doing. So try out different exercises and see which one works best and which one you actually enjoy most. To give you guys some personal preferences, I really like a chest supported dumbbell row for my horizontal pulling exercise. I really like handstand work for my vertical pushing exercise, and I really like RDLs or Romanian deadlifts for my hip hinge movement. And then to add a couple of things to this, I actually really don't like any exercises that really have a high recovery cost and put a lot of stress on your lower back. So any unsupported bent over rowing movements and deadlifts, for example, are really not that great of a necessary exercise since they have a very high recovery cost, therefore will actually take away from your performance on your big primary exercises. And then one more thing, whilst we're actually talking about exercise selection, you definitely have more freedom with what you do in volume phases compared to your strength phases. So exercises like bent over rows and deadlifts can be very effective in really volume based training blocks on mesocycles when you are just accumulating some volume with your big primary exercises. As you come closer to higher percentages on those very big compounds, you definitely tend to have less leeway with your accessory work. So really then it really makes sense to be more cautious with what exercise that you do for secondary work. And then let's talk about volume. So this essentially covers questions like how many sets to do on accessory work after your big primary exercises. Now we can actually zoom this question out and just talk about how many volume in general you should do in a typical workout. Now nobody actually knows the answer to this question since otherwise we all would be doing the exact same amount of work every single workout. The right amount of volume you can do is the amount of volume that you can actually successfully recover from. The golden rule is that if you haven't recovered from the amount of volume you did in your last workout after about 2 or 3 days, which means that you should be able to match the same workout 3 days later, you have done too much volume in that workout. To use myself as an example, I am a massive minimalist if it comes to my training, so I really like to do as little work as possible that still allows me to make progress. So if it takes just a typical workout for me, let's say a pull workout, I will do 2 or 3 sets of weighted pull-ups, 3 sets on some kind of horizontal pulling exercise, 3 sets of some rear delt work, and that is pretty much an average workout for me. An average push day for me will be about 3 sets of weighted dips, 3 sets on handstand work, and then 3 sets on bench press. And then an average leg workout will be about 2 or 3 sets of squats, 3 sets on an RDL or a leg press depending on the day, and then 1 all-out set of a leg curl, leg extension, and some calf work. So in most of my workouts, I actually tend to do 10 sets or less. So not a lot of volume, definitely substantially less than the vast majority of people are doing. But because I'm doing so few sets, I can actually recover a lot better after every single workout, and I can essentially be fresh for all my compound exercises twice a week. And then lastly, I'm going to talk about modes of progression. Now, because we're talking about accessory work, you really don't need to do anything complicated with all these exercises, since it's only accessory work, and so you really don't need to do waves or step loading. Following a simple linear progression will work just fine. So just take a rep range that you want to work in, and for the vast majority of accessory work that will be anywhere between 5 and 15 reps, and then an amount of sets that you want to do for that specific exercise. So let's say we're going to be doing a 3x8 or a 3x10, once again what you should do for the vast majority of your accessory work, and then simply pick a weight that allows you to do a 3x10 or a 3x8 with about 1 to 3 reps remaining at the last set. From there, I would really advise you guys to work with RPE from all the accessory work that you do. So if you guys don't know what RPE is, RPE stands for rate of perceived exertion, essentially just scoring every single set that you do from 1 to 10. The vast majority of your accessory work should be done at an RPE of about 7 to 9, which means that you're always leaving 1 or 3 reps in the tank after every single set. And from there, when a weight becomes too easy, simply increase the weight on the exercise, but always keeping some reps in the tank after the last set. And that is essentially all I want to talk about in this video about accessory work. Once again, really the bread and butter of your program is going to be, are going to be your big compound exercises. So really try and focus on those. Accessory work is all nice, but really should never be the main focus of your training, so always keep that in mind. And with that being said, let's actually end today's video. So and subscribe if you guys haven't already, and share the video. Any more questions, video ideas, or advice, leave it down below in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and laters.